Attorney General Doug Gansler, who has done some good things for marriage equality in the past. Are you going to continue to work for us this year? Why don't you take that?
She's the roughest I've ever seen. Yeah, I've been working, obviously the answer is yes, and I've been working for... Yeah, don't take my time. She's going to kill me. So I've been testifying this for about 3 or 4 years now, ever since I've been Attorney General. And I didn't tell my political people. I just did it because it's the right thing to do. And then in early 2010, we wrote the opinion recognizing out-of-state same-sex marriage. So the people that did want to go to the other states, the 5 states, now 6, including District of Columbia, could get married and then come here and legally have that recognized. Obviously, the law that we have, marriage between a man and a woman, is unconstitutional. It defies equal protection, it's against due process, and it will change. We need to continue to work in Annapolis. I'll be there Tuesday to testify. Thankfully, I'll have some company this year. Some of the other statewide electeds are going to be joining us, which is great because we need all the help we can get, and hopefully the House and the Senate will be on our side as well. Let me just say something from the legal side, because much has been said about the law and where we are, and many arguments that I hear about all the time when I go out and talk about this issue of same-sex marriage. First of all, I want to thank all of you for being here, because many of you are not gay. And it's important for us that are not gay to stand up for doing what's right. But it's equally important for the gay community to do so, and these stories of people to come out and say, you know what, I am gay, I'm your neighbor, I'm your teacher, I'm your fireman, I'm your police officer, whatever it might be, because then people, you know, when I was in high school, nobody was gay. Really? You know? And now people are, and it turns out that we have the same desires, same people. They're not, and that I think that helps the change of public opinion, and has changed and helps some of these elected people coming out. The arguments here against it. You know, what about sodomy? Some state senator said, well, now you're going to let me have sex with my dog. No, Senator, we're not talking about your dog today. You know, some of the Republican guys are out there. And so, you know, and polygamy. And we're talking, and there's no movement for that. And I talk about much of this in my 46-page opinion about, you know, about same-sex marriage and the history of marriage in the state of Maryland. And then, but some of the other arguments are actually somewhat interesting as well. Because I'm from the side where I don't even get the other side anymore. People, so I'll get pastors, many pastors, particularly in the African American community, will call and say, you know, this is against the religion, this is against the Bible, and I would have to remind them, though I'm not a religious scholar, there's nothing about gay marriage in the Bible. There's nothing. There's about tolerance, treating people with dignity, people equally, and let God decide what the judgment ought to be. And what happens is, the most fundamental root of this whole thing, is what they're saying to us is, you choose to be gay. So one day, you wake up, you're 8 years old, you're 12 years old, you're 20, 30, 40, and say, hey, I think I'll be gay today. And they just don't get that that's how you're born. And so then they'll say to us, well, what about civil unions? Well, thankfully, we're talking about marriage equality here, because civil unions is nothing short of a cop-out. And that's not fair to everybody, we're talking about marriage. And then the last piece of it, of course, is, well, what about, you know, this church and state thing, and you're going to make my church have it? This whole issue, the reason why we're even talking about this is because back in England, before we were a country, they mixed up church and state, right? There's nothing more of a blending church and state than the issue of marriage. Then we had a country that was founded, and right there, the Declaration of Independence, it was about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's what this is about, the pursuit of happiness. And the First Amendment talks about freedom of religion, freedom of association. Nobody's ever going to make any church, temple, or mosque make someone get married or not get married. And you know, they're going to put all this stuff in the law because most of them aren't lawyers anymore, and that's fine. But the fact of the matter is no one's ever going to be able to do it because of the Constitution of the United States. So I think, you know, look, we're going to pass it this year. It'll go to referendum. That's when really we're going to need your help. And then at the end of the day, it's going to go to court. And there was something said about the federal side. You know, we have challenged DOMA. Some of my colleagues have challenged DOMA. President Obama has told his Justice Department, don't defend this anymore. So at some point, the courts are going to fix it as well. So hang in there, work hard, We'll get this done, but thank you all for being here and for fighting this really important fight.